Hey, and good morning, swingers. Charlie Bolak here, live from Swingway Golf Club. This is Clubhouse podcast. This is going to be just a quick little live as a little bit of a follow up to a segment I did yesterday, kind of calling out some of my dissatisfactions in the corporate world, and it seems like people are enjoying it, and it seems like it may help people from time to time. So I think we're gonna make kind of a series out of this. I titled this one Part Two, but this one's going to be kind of discussing uh, the heavy equipment industry. I guess by contractual agreement, I can't name names for about 10 more months or so. But I can get the overall message out there, I believe. And today's overall message is just about how bad these guys are for small business, and when they come and take over an industry, specifically, like I said, the heavy equipment industry. They crowd out all the small guys. I've got a buddy who left big box organization a little bit before I did, and he kind of went out and is doing his own thing and getting some traction and doing well. So um, I was contacted by a customer that I've done business with for many, many years, and who's still loyal. That they're having trouble, right? They are not using the company that I'm not with anymore over some consistency issues. They're not using the company that I was with the last because of some billing inconsistencies and service issues. So they reached out, and I reached out to my buddy who's doing his own thing down in down on the coast. How about that? And we started trying to work some things out to get the customer taken care of, and I, I I can't just I mean I just can't imagine the thought process of some of these people that are, I mean, actively blocking a customer from being taken care of, be it through pricing, be it through availability, rental tricks. Oh, hey, I'll have to bring that in, even though they got it sitting there. They're going to quote you $2,500 in freight to bring it in, and it's just I was gonna help my buddy and say, hey, look, let's start doing this thing kind of as a side gig, and if it takes off, it takes off great. And so the last couple weeks, that's what we've been working on, going through all kinds of prospective partnerships and finding ways to get a customer taken care of, and then you know push comes to shove, and today's the day that we're going to send it out, and one company, oh, I can't get them. One company, oh, that original price I quoted you is not going to work. Just all kinds of. Uh, I mean, what is a good word that's not too powerful, but it lets you know they've been acting pretty shady. I guess shady would be a good word. It's very disheartening, to people who just want to see a customer taken care of, and a good customer that pays their bills. They don't fight you on your recommendations, as long as you show them that, hey, this is the right piece of equipment for the job. This is why it's the right piece of equipment. This is how it's going to benefit uh, your company, and this particular project. And you don't find that very often in the rental world. Well, you do. That's kind of a blanket statement, but I mean, I would rephrase that to say, when you find those types of customers, take care of them, because they'll be great for you for as long as you're doing business, as long as you take care of them. Getting back into it, there's really four or five big box companies that can service the area that I'm in, and then there's some smaller mom and pop type shops, and just the way that these big box guys come in, and they just basically impose their will on markets to the detriment of the customer, to the detriment of the industry as a whole. It's man, I tell you what, it's disgusting. It really is. I mean, all we were trying to do was help the customer find the right gear and make a little bit of money. And it just through three different companies, one wouldn't quote us. Uh, one changed their pricing. One said they can do something, and then on the morning of delivery, decided they couldn't do it. And it's and these are conversations that we've been having for weeks, right? Setting everything up, lining everything up. Making sure we're going to take care of the customer, making sure we're doing, uh, the business stuff the right way. To make sure that bills get paid and there's no lapse in service. Because as a broker, as a middleman, it's going to be more relationship, right? Customer doesn't want to deal with big box, salesperson right out of college learning the ropes. This customer is a very busy guy, runs a huge company, and prefers to deal with somebody that's got a little bit of knowledge. And the trend in the heavy equipment industry has been, hey, we don't need these subject matter experts, right? We can just let them go. They're too expensive, and we'll bring on these uh new to the workforce, for lack of a better word, folks, and we'll just throw them in, burn them out. And it's not a good trend because you're letting so much knowledge escape the industry that you know how are you going to run a profitable business if nobody knows how to use the equipment and they keep throwing it out, it keeps breaking, nobody knows how to go back in and do the reverse homework and figure out, first of all, why it's breaking, you know where the disconnect is there too much pressure, is there not enough pressure, is the specific gravity too high, too low. I mean, there's just so many factors, and there's um so many intricacies when it comes to this type of equipment that if you don't have competent um, operations folks, I mean, I would say technical sales at this point is kind of a bridge between sales and operations because, I would always use my frontline salesman to get in, and then I would come in as a subject matter expert. Hey, I'm not trying to get in between the relationship of you and your customer. I just want to be the guy that helps you out, right? I want to be the guy that if you have a tough question and you don't know the answer, I want to be the guy that even if I don't know the answer, you trust me to go find the answer, right? Because the answer is out there. It may be in a textbook, it may be in a person that's just done this for 80 years, no degree. I mean, hell, some of the smartest people I've ever met don't even have high school degrees, diplomas. There is no substitute for experience in this type of market. When you are dealing with, equipment that could kill people, that could break, that could, down entire sanitary sewer systems, water systems. I mean, this stuff is powering the way we live and the way we build our world. And when you lose the knowledge base that knows how to operate this stuff correctly, where does that leave? That's not good for the customer. That's not good for your business. But again, the corporate world is so short sighted, right? They're worried about this year's bonus, this year's numbers, this year's performance review. They will sell a decade down the river for this year, and because that's the way they're incentivized, that's the way they're um, compensated, that's the way they're rewarded, that's the way they're evaluated, and it's just it's man, I tell you what, it's this industry is heading for a really really rude awakening. Um, when you just don't have the experts anymore. What are they going to do? How are some of these projects going to get off the ground? They're going to cost more. There's going to be delays. There's going to be overruns. You could have the best construction company in the world, the best superintendent. You could have the best crew. If you don't have the right tools for these guys, they can't do their job. And the people that know how to put the right tools in the right place at the right time for these guys are leaving the industry in record numbers because they're not getting the 360-degree life support that they need. Meaning, some people may be compensated fairly, but they're not getting the support out of the operations side. They're not getting the fleet support. They're not getting um, what they need to service their customers properly. And you know that's a quick way to demoralize a great salesperson. If they don't have the tools to take care of their customers, then what are they even doing? Why are they there? All that's going to do is reciprocate, make a reciprocal, um, kind of downward spiral where, hey, your numbers are down, this is down, this you're not making as much money. Well, because we don't have the fleet, right? It goes back to yesterday. Hey, you know, we needed to bump up our utilization numbers, so we dropped a lot of prices. We put all our pumps on rent, but now our customers don't have the pumps, and my numbers don't look good because the pumps I do have on rent are on rent for less money. Um, and so it's like I said, it's just a reciprocal downward spiral of eventually crashing an entire industry. Something's got to give. Somebody has to come in and disrupt this market pretty quick before it's too late. So anybody out there with ideas, hit them off of me. I'd love to talk about it. I think it's definitely not too late to save it, but something's going to have to be done to get these big guys out of the way because the market share of the mom and pops just they may say that it's still around 50%, I believe, is the talking line, but I would really like to see where those are, and if you're comparing apples to apples on those numbers, right? Because I will tell you this: mom and pops are not. You're not going to find a mom and pop in Atlanta. You're not going to find many in Birmingham, Alabama left, Nashville, Miami, all the big cities. Yeah, I mean, mom and pop can't exist there because they're priced out, they're pushed out, they're intimidated out. It's not a sustainable path that we're on in the heavy equipment industry. So let's do this. I'll put out a poll in the next couple days, and we'll try to get some heavy hitters lined up to talk to us about this because I know people know this. I know I'm not the only one that spotted this trend. I know there are smarter people out there that have to be looking at the overall health of this industry and thinking, "Oh my God, what the hell's going on? How do we fix it? How do we reverse this? And you know, how do we get decent people, you know, back in the workforce? The people that we've run off that become jaded and are now doing other things, making more money, happier, better quality of life. I mean, it's gonna have to happen. It's gonna have to happen soon, folks. If anybody's got any ideas, shoot them to me. We'll keep talking about it. Hey, thanks for joining. This is Charlie Bolak on the Clubhouse podcast. We're live at Swing Away. Come see us, man. Come, I'm here most every day, by myself most of the time. So come see us. Come check it out. Come have a chat. Play a little golf, and let's see what we can do to make this rock a little bit better of a place. Hey, thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time.